We've been fascinated by politicians. We've been fascinated by royalty. We can go back to the Greek plays and most of Shakespeare and say that these are kinds of characters that audiences are fascinated by. So I don't think Frank is particularly unique in that way. It's a long, long line of audiences being fascinated by these kind of figures.
And what is it like being directed by your co-star? Is she awful to work for?
No, she's fantastic. Is she here yet?
Yeah, she came through early. She said a few things about you.
Well, I adore her. We've known each other a very, very long time, and she's a terrific director. And I love it. I've loved doing it with her, and I love doing it with her. Is that?
Say that.
We can say that.
I just want to ask about his ambition, though. I mean, he's in the top. He's in the top seat now. He's got the chair. But is he the kind of guy that wants to have his finger one moment maybe on the button just to know that he could have had, he could have pressed it?
I can't reveal anything. That's an interesting question. I will say that I think that he's not interested in power just for its own sake. He's going to accomplish some things as president.
Are these two, Claire and the president, are they very much in love? Are they the most romantic couple on television?
What do you think?
Well, I mean,
I'm not British. Is that called romantic?
Well, you sublimated all your desires and ambitions for many years and waited and bided your time to allow Frank to achieve his. Now it's your go. That's love, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's only because the love will be returned, and if not, there will be hell to pay. So.
And do you watch binge TV yourself? Do you sit down? Would you watch 13 hours in one go?
I don't own a television.
So will you be watching this online, I'm assuming?
I don't have a computer even.
For 2 seasons, we've seen him and Claire climb to the top of the summit, and the big question now is, once you're at the top of the mountain, where do you go from there? Is there a higher peak? Is the only direction down? Do you fight to stay on top of the summit? And all of the answers to those questions are what you'll see in season 3.
Surely if he was after real power, he could just go and be the CEO of Apple.
Yeah, it's either that or Galactic Emperor. Take your pick.
Now, there's some interesting background for this series because you worked in the Ministry of Interior in Estonia. Is that correct? When you were younger, and that must come into play in the 3rd series somehow, perhaps.
Well, I can't say that Estonia, in specific does. I did do a little work right after college for the Estonian government. I also worked on a lot of political campaigns, some Senate and presidential campaigns in the U.S., and all of that stuff informs the story.
And what do you like writing most for the characters? When they're backed into a corner, or when their Luciferian plans are all coming to fruition? Which part do you enjoy writing the most?
Chaos is way more fun. The art of politics is being able to respond to the unexpected, and that's when we see Francis and Claire at their best.
And is there any chance that Frank and Claire might pop over to London and maybe meet their long-lost relative Francis Urquhart?
Well, that would be a dream come true. I mean, to see Frank Underwood traipsing through the halls of Parliament or plop down in the House of Lords, I think would be a lot of fun. But we'll see. Maybe not this season, but who knows?
Has it surprised you by how keen people are on these guys? I mean, they're dreadful, awful people.
Well, you're dreadful and awful might be another person's exciting and inspiring. I think that people have a lot of different reactions to Frank and Claire, and that's how we want it. That diversity of responses makes for exciting drama, and that's what we're after.
I mean, have you got a long-term vision for how far you think this series could run for? How many series do you think this could actually go on for?
Right now we're just focusing on one season at a time. How's that for a political non-answer for you?
You've got too good at this. This is the problem. I'm assuming you're still speaking to a lot of politicians. Are they still trying to speak to you, or are they kind of annoyed by what's been going on with where you're portraying them?
We found that people in D.C. and actually politicians the world over really enjoy the show. They take it with a grain of salt. They realize that we're showing a very dark version of what they do, and they actually give us a lot more leeway and liberty than a lot of other viewers do, because they know that, yeah, we have to fudge the rules sometimes, but we always know the rules that we're fudging.
I love the fact that if ever in doubt and wondering how do we get ahead, just go, what would Frank Underwood do? So it's kind of like a good way to get ahead, isn't it?
But then do the opposite, surely, because he's a nasty character.
He is a nasty character, but he's quite exciting, isn't he?
So the show goes on air, as it were, at 8:01 a.m. tomorrow morning, Friday morning. Are you due to be at work tomorrow?
I will have finished work by then. So basically tonight it's one of those rare occasions where I've stayed up late just to come and watch a TV show. But that's how exciting this is for me.
And how big a fan are you? I mean, you genuinely try and think like Frank and Claire.
Yeah, I genuinely love Frank Underwood. He's so nasty. He's brilliant.